جودی اسکرو، وزیر مهاجرت کانادا 2005، رئیس کمیته تجارت بین المللی پارلمان. تا زمانی که یک ایران آزاد و دموکراتیک تحقق نیابد، هیچ یک از ما نباید در آرامش باشیم، زیرا این بر کل جهان و زندگی ما تأثیر می‌گذارد.
Wow. Good afternoon. Madam Rajave, and to all of these fabulous leaders that you have here in the audience and on the stage. I'm here, I don't know whether this is my 10th time or my 12th time, but every time I leave even more inspired by the leadership of Madam Rajave and her whole team. Their dedication and commitment is unbelievable. When I watched that video of the young women, it reduced me to tears, and I'm sure it reduced many of you to tears. We have an obligation of citizens of the world to have a safe world, and Iran poses a very distinct opposition to that. Those young women on that video don't ask for anything else but a chance to be free and to be proud of their country and to live a free and democratic Iran. That's all they want. And it calls upon us as leaders, as members of parliament, to do that. But it also calls on each and every one of you in this audience and anyone that is watching, and I know there are many, to not sit there, to take your responsibilities as members of this world that we live in, to talk about what is going on in Iran. Iran, in my opinion, is behind everything going on in the Middle East and what is going on in the Ukraine. Iran is delivering the instruments of war, and they are trying to distort public opinion and get people looking somewhere else. Not looking at Iran, go look everywhere else. Well, Iran does all of this terrible stuff to try to get people to forget about them when they are the source. And until Iran is free and democratic and has opportunities for everyone else, they're going to continue to mess around in other people's lives. So I behold all of you. Don't just enjoy today and say, Madam Rajave and NCRI and all the wonderful team you have are great people. That's terrific. We've heard wonderful speeches, inspirational speeches from everyone, but it takes many, many more people that's in this room. It takes all of us to talk to our friends and talk to our neighbors and tell them to pay attention to what's going to Iran, and we've got to hold Iran accountable. It cannot continue to get away with what it does. But I'm here with the love for all of you. We will continue as a country, as Canada, but we need all of you, as I said, to be louder, louder, louder voices. It calls on all of us as parliamentarians to have louder voices, but also the rest of the world. And I must share a little bit of a political message with you that Canada continues to seize the assets of many people who have been tied to the IRGC in Canada. They seize the assets and then they are deported. And the next step that I am told that Canada is going to take, hallelujah, God, you're there, IRGC is going to be named a terrorist organization in the very near future. So as I stand together with my colleague, Canada is with you, the world is with you. But we got to really be with you, which means we really got to do some of this work too. We can't just leave it up to Madame Rajave and her team and think we're just going to be there to enjoy a free and democratic Iran. It's going to take every single person sitting in a chair in this room, sitting up there. You all, we all have a responsibility, and until we have a free and democratic Iran, none of us should be at peace, because that affects our whole world and our lives and our children and grandchildren. God bless all of you, and thank you for the invitation to be here.
کاترین گونار زدوتیر، وزیر آموزش ایسلند 2003 تا 2009، رئیس حزب لیبرال رفرم و نماینده پارلمان. دیکتاتوری مذهبی که حقوق بنیادین بشر را سرکوب می کند و مردم را در ملأ عام می کشد باید برود تا حقوق همه مردم رعایت شود. مردم ایران باید بتوانند آزادانه رهبران خود را اعم از زن و مرد انتخاب کنند. من عمیقاً و مشتاقانه در انتظار دیدن یک رئیس جمهور زن با انتخاب آزادانه در ایران هستم. ما مشتاقانه در انتظار روزی هستیم که جنبش اپوزیسیون بتواند به خانه خود برود و برنامه 10 ماده خود را اجرا کند.
Mariam Rajavi, dear friends, it is great to be here today among all of you, women and men, supporting free Iran. The women of Iran have been in the forefront of the resistance movement against the clerical regime. They have a lot at stake because their rights are trampled on, as misogyny is part of the legal framework in Iran and discrimination based on gender is institutionalized. This cannot go on. This is not acceptable in the 21st century. We must all do what we can to help our sisters in Iran throw out the current oppressive regime. The women of Iran, as well as the men, are calling for a long overdue regime change. They need our support to be able to do this from within. They are not calling for an invasion from outside, but support that helps the progressive forces inside the country to reach their goals. The clerics have brought so much international shame upon Iran, and they must go. It is well known that the Iranian regime is behind all major terrorist groups in the Middle East. Iranian women, they do not want to be their legacy, and they don't want the country to have nuclear weapons. The religious dictatorship that suppresses basic human rights and kills people in public places must go so that the rights of all people may be respected. The people of Iran must be able to freely elect their own leaders, both women and men, of their own choosing, and eliminate all the misogyny and discrimination against women and minority groups that is pursued by the current regime. And I look deeply forward to seeing a freely elected woman president of Iran. Yes, a woman, like we did in Iceland back in 1980. Iranian women in the resistance movement have been a real force for good. Like women everywhere, of course. But women in Iran, they have made a lot of sacrifices during the recent struggle. Some have made the ultimate sacrifice, far too many. One of the objectives of the democratic opposition in Iran is to eliminate the death penalty completely. And it is hard for us women from the Western Europe to understand why someone should spend time in prison or even pay with their life when asking for such basic rights as to be able to choose their own clothing. Mariam Rajavi has been a great leader of the Iranian opposition, a role model for all of us here. We look forward to the day when the opposition movement can move home to Iran and institute her 10-point plan. And that will be a great day for all of us. But Mariam Rajavi has also a 12-point plan for gender equality in Iran. I come from Iceland, which consistently is on the top of international list when it comes to gender equality. The rights of women are ensured in our constitution and different laws that seek to give all equal opportunities, regardless from all the important goals that we have already achieved are listed as objectives for the new regime in Iran. Let us help them achieve those goals. Many of them are truly basic that we barely think about, and we barely think about them because we take them for granted. The right to employment and to choose a profession, equal pay and benefits, equal participation in democratic elections, freedom to travel without permission, equal access to education, the right to be the guardian of your children, equal rights to inheritance, and the basic right. But the women of Iran, they need our help to achieve this, all this, while they are fighting this brutal dictatorship in Iran. We must not fail them. We must not fail them, and then we will see a free and democratic Iran. Good luck to all of you.